Okay, whether they're 2 or they're 12, no parent likes to deal with a whining child.
But it happens, doesn't it? How do you choose to address your child's whining? That can make all the difference. And joining us again this morning, of course, our parent coach, Sarina Natkin. Thank you for coming to save the day.
Thank you.
So this happens on a daily basis in my household.
Yeah.
How about yours?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's one of those daily struggles. What do you do if the kid wants something and they're not going to leave without it, but they put up the whining front?
It is really tough, and whining is one of those sounds. I actually read a study that said that it was more distracting than a high-pitched chainsaw. Across the board, the whining could even be in a different
like
language.
Fingernails on a chalkboard.
Exactly. So think about this though. So we're sitting working on our computer. A kid says, can we go to the park? No. Please, I want to go to the park. No. Please, I really want to go to the park. We give them our full, undivided attention because we're irritated, right? But they're getting our full attention. So we have to be careful how we address it when we hear it, right? So that's the first part. And kids whine for many reasons. They whine because they're hungry, they're tired, they don't yet know how to regulate their emotions, but we're the ones who get to decide what we're going to do. So one tip I advise is to talk to your child at a calm time and say, you know what, your words are really important and I want to hear what they are. But
so in that moment when they're whining.
Well, I would take this in the first conversation, a moment when they're not whining, and say, you know, I wanted to let you know your words are so important. I want to hear them. And when they come out in that whiny voice, it's really hard for me to focus on them. So when I hear that whiny voice, is there a way that I can let you know so you can say it again in a clear voice? Now, this is a great tip. Come up with a hand sign together. Okay, so come up with what's the hand sign. So it's not about insulting them or telling them they're whiny. It's about this is the sound that comes out, hard to hear. So I'll give you a reminder. What should we use? Let's use a hand sign. Ours was this. Okay, so when it comes out that way, you do the hand sign and practice with them. Kids love it when you whine, give it your biggest whine, and they'll do it. Right? So practice.
So then what is supposed to happen after this?
So you go like this, and
the kid gets the signal that, okay, they're whining.
And if you've talked to them about it at a calm time, so our urge is to be like, do you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm doing this. Can you stop whining? Stop whining. I'm doing this, right? But if you've already talked to them about it, you know, and they're by 3, 4, they can start to hold this, right? And you can, you know, the younger you're going to be more patient, of course. But by the time they're 4, 5, 6, this is enough. And if they continue, you can say, you know what? I want to hear you, but I want to hear it in a clear voice. So I'll be in the other room. You come tell me when you're ready. So it's not a judgment. Our instinct, a lot of times people say, use your big boy voice or big girl voice. Let's put ourselves in their shoes though. So you come home, you're tired, you're maybe not using your best communication skills. You say something and your partner says, honey, can you use your big woman voice? You know, you're going to be, it's going to be a very little angry voice probably. It's not going to be a calmer, more clear voice, right? So they know big boy, big girl, that's code for good. And that's our judgment, our value judgment on them. So we want to avoid that because they always want to be a big boy or big girl, right? So
you want them to feel
clear voice. Yeah, you want to feel the way. So clear voice.
If they whine for something that they're not getting, do you give it to them? Do you just don't reward them?
So that's one of the problems, right? So, you know, they can request it in a clear voice. You can choose in the moment. I mean, nothing's an absolute, right? You know, sometimes our kids if we just got home, like my kids on Sunday were very tired from a flight. We knew that it was going to be a hard day. We were easier on them, and they were, you know, we just were flexible. But when they're young, you know, you don't need to tell them 10 times. You don't need to give into it. You can just say, we're not going to do that today. So I have parents practice, I love you, and the answer is no. It's much clearer when we do it earlier before we're escalated and give them our direct attention in that clear voice ourselves.
So what happens if you do the signal and then you say, you know, no, and then they keep whining? At what point do you...
You can just say, you know what, I've answered that. I'm going to be reading my book. I've answered that. I'll be in another room. We keep answering and we keep escalating ourselves.
When do we factor in discipline? I mean, what's your opinion on if they're clearly violating the rules and they're just they're disregarding? What do you punish them? Do you discipline them?
So and we can talk more about this as time goes on. So discipline, that comes from the Latin word. It's about teaching. So we want to think as discipline as an opportunity to teach. And generally people do better when they feel better. So we're more ready to learn when we feel like we're in a safe, trusted environment. Sure. So if we think about punishment in terms of like you got to pay for your behavior, that doesn't necessarily bring about better behavior next time. It may deal with it in that situation. So we want to think about, how am I going to solve this problem for the long term? And the long term is they need to have a clear, and articulate their words, because that's how they want to be heard in the world. Right. So we're to practice with them. So, but you get to set the line and say, you know what? I will answer when I hear a clear voice. Yeah.
I mean, most importantly, though, what we want to talk to you about is, do you buy a real Christmas tree or a fake Christmas tree?
It is a difficult dilemma. And so my child just asked me,
or are you on team fake?
You
have one choice.
Well, my daughter just asked for a Jewish Christmas tree. I said, well, how about a Hanukkah bush? Start with something.
What we really want to know is what's better for children, as the parent, coach, and parent expert.
Oh, way to bring it
back.
Oh,
I see.
What is better for children? The artificial tree?
It's really about what works best for your own family.
She's going to be diplomatic
right down
about
the middle.
it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Fine.
All right. You can go to SarinaNatkin.com for more information on whining. She will not have an opinion on Christmas trees, but she has all kinds of other topics that will help you as parents. Thank you, Sarina.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be right back.